Welcome back. So once we logged into the system successfully, on our username at the very top, we can basically access three options. This is depending on the type of user who logged into the system. As I mentioned before, I logged into this system as a super user, or in other words, a system administrator. That's why I can see the three options: user profile administration and logout. So by clicking on the first option, user profile, I should be able to see the basic configuration on my user account. The second option, administration, is only restricted to the top level users to the system. So the administration option gives the functionality to customize the system the way that the business requires. This is the reason we highly recommend having only one or two system administrators in the organization in order to control the configuration of the system. Otherwise, all the users should be able to access the admin side of things and change or modify the configurations the way that they need, which is going to be really messy. So let's start with the user profile. By the time I click on user profile, couple of things that I can see on my screen: my staff member details, username, email, password details, calendar. Am I scheduled to am I set up to schedule appointments? What's my initial calendar views, correspondence settings, default pages, default values, and user preferences as well. This is what's been set up on my user profile. If I need to make any changes to this existing setup, we can click on edit setting at the top. That will give us the option to alter these settings, or deselect or add more setting to the user profile. Starting with the first one, correspondence view. What's my preferred view? Do I need to see all correspondence into the organization, or or only those correspondence which are addressed to me? Again, if we take an example of a specific provider or a doctor, I only need to see those correspondences which are addressed to me. However, if I'm a receptionist or a system administrator, I basically need access to all correspondence, or my default view should be to all correspondence screen. Correspondence type filter. If I have a preferred method of correspondence, I always send only SMS to my patient. So I need my default correspond type filter to the set up as SMS. Default patient page. Again, if I'm a health professional provider, my preference will be either clinical notes or assessment. These options doesn't mean that I can only see those fields only, but it means that that's going to be the default page or the default setting. It can be always changed with an additional clicking. So if I'm a user from a billing team, my preference will be to see the invoices and credit screen, for example, or accounting screen for a patient page. So likewise, we can set up all of this information on this and click on update settings. As I mentioned in the very beginning, the user manual will give you detailed understanding about each of these fields and what each field is for. I logged in on my LDAP login to the system. Otherwise, I should be able to see a change password button next to this edit setting. So that's basically the option for those users who are accessing the system using the password authentication method. So in the very first instance, in the very beginning, the system administrators will create user profiles and circulate the password among other users in the organization. Once they're logged into the system, the first and foremost thing that we generally advise our clients to do or follow is change their password in order to confirm the security. So if they're using password login system, they should be able to see a change password next to edit setting where you are seeing my mouse cursor now. Likewise, any other platform, they should be able to click on that, enter the current password, and create a new password. So that's all under the user profile. So the next option is the administration. Again, this option will appear if and only if you are a system administrator or if that specific user has good high level access to the system. So once we click on system administration button, we will notice some changes to this left-hand menu option. We are now in the configuration screen for the system, which means we can now set up the system the way that we need to meet the requirement for that specific business. We can, if we need to set up, if you need to add or remove a billing item, we can go to accounting. If you need to add appointment types, we can go to appointments, etc. So this is basically setup. We need to make sure who should be the system administrator, who should have this level of access to the system, and restrict only 1 or 2 or maximum 3 users to the system as system administrator. Now, the third option is log out. Like if you need to log out from the system, we can click on log out. That will basically take out from the system. So those are the 3 options that we will basically see under user profile. Thank you.